means that the consumer reporting agency, they're required to report accurate information. But you claim that the information is accurate, but they don't have the proper paperwork to substantiate that one, the information is accurate and you furnished it. So
Right.
now it's an EB violation. And this is how you can get paid from both. Like it's wild how you can go with this. It's all a matter of
Awesome.
what battle you want to fight, all right? But it's
Okay.
good news on your side. It might not look like it now, but you have the
Oh, it
opportunity
does.
to flip the table tremendously.
Thank you, sir.
All right, no problem. Um,
Thank you, Travis.
I be get yo, I get excited talking
You're
about this
welcome.
stuff. I swear to like this stuff gets me excited. Like this stuff really gets me excited. Sheesh. Like
Passion.
I'm in total nerd mode right now. All right, Britt, who do we got next?
Let's get it. We have Thomas up next, and then we have
Thomas.
2 more questions after that. So,
Mhm.
Thomas,
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on? Is my check in the mail?
So I want to follow what Sylvia's talking about, the opt-out. So normally the opt-out is dealing with an unaffiliated third party, right?
Correct. Which the consumer reporting agencies are.
So this is my issue. I'm dealing with early warning systems. I'm trying to get them to remove some stuff. The problem is early warning is owned by 7 big banks. TNC is one of them. So when I send a letter, technically they own part of EWS. So they're probably going to come back saying we are affiliated. So if there's another angle that you can think of, if not, maybe just go after EWS directly. Because right now I'm going after PNC, saying
Well,
you're
you
sharing
could.
my
So
info.
in that case, remember 6802 goes with 6801. Brothers and sisters, right?
Right.
So 6801 is the protection of non-public personal information. So I'm not going to go too nerdy right now because I know we're cut on time, but let me show you something
Maybe
real quick.
stick with the fact that they never sent me the disclosures.
Well, that's one part of it, but you want as much ammunition as you can. You don't want to go in with a half-loaded magazine when you can go in with a full magazine or an extended clip. I like extended clips. So look at 6801, right? And when you go to 6801, it talks about how your information must be protected. This is the same non-personal public information. You see where I'm going with this?
Right.
And there's a privacy obligation policy and the financial institution safeguards that must happen. So when you look at number 3, and it says to protect against unauthorized access, well, the consumer reporting agencies get breached all the time.
Right.
So by them providing your information to a consumer reporting agency, they just violated this. That's the first thing, right? And then number 2, to protect against any anticipated threat. All right, we know they get breached. But what I really like is number 1. When you look up the definition for the word security and confidentiality, what do those 2 words mean? So when you talk about this security, protecting the information, and confidentiality, keeping it secret, keeping it private, there's no justification for sharing my information if there's a privacy obligation policy that protects my private information and it says that my information must be secured and it should be confidential.
So I'm gonna stick with that.
So there's different avenues you can go. It's just which one you want to use.
With the 1099-C that you mentioned earlier, I have a client who got the 1099-C from American Express 2 years ago, but she never added to the taxes. Can we? Do you think we could get away with just copying that 1099-C and sending it to the credit bureaus, and that will be enough without her filing? Just try it.
Well, credit bureaus don't exist. But what I would do is
I mean,
would
sorry,
amend it
credit reporting
first.
agency, sorry.
I would amend it first. And the reason why I would want to amend it is because if it comes down to a situation where I might have to sue them for inaccurate information and breaching and being non-compliant, I want to have as much evidence on my side as possible.
Okay, I got it.
So I would go that route. I would go that route.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can get these other three questions out of the way, Thomas, and then we're gonna circle back. All right. All right. Thomas left. Thank you, Thomas. All right,
Okay.
Britt, who we got next?
Up next, we have Win. Win, over to you. How are you?
Win,
Hey,
my
Jermaine, how you
guy.
doing?
I'm good, brother, man. I am 99% back.
I was gonna ask you, did you make it to Jamaica?
I did.
Take
I got some remedy, some home remedy. That's why my voice is feeling awesome right now. It's not back at 100, but we're
Good,
getting there. So what you
good,
got
good,
going on?
good.
Talk to me.
Two quick things. I literally just got off the phone with Navy Federal this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I contacted them because we sent out a dispute letter for them for late payments and never got the green return receipt back or the response from the letter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been well over 60 days. Um, then so I said, well, wait a minute. So I said, see if we can get him on the phone. Of course, got him on the phone and it bounced around. Finally got to someone who's supposed to be a supervisor in the loan processing department. And bottom line is running off the late payment deletion script. And he informed me, says to me that in the 13, 15 years he's been working it, he's never seen anything get deleted
That has
with
nothing to do with you, bro.
them. I know. But then, long story short, tells me that I have to dispute this. We have to dispute this with the credit reporting agencies.
Perfect. Did you record
Okay.
that call?
So, yeah.
So in this case, you wanna follow up with a 1681 S2 rebuttal letter to that statement. You're gonna have to build a new letter, but the letter should be built on 1681 S2. So
Would you send the dispute letter to the agencies?
yeah, you're gonna send one to the agencies, but you also
Okay,
want to
awesome.
cover yourself with Navy Federal. Remember,
Right, gotcha.
1681 SA speaks about S2A speaks about reporting information with actual errors. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So the
Right.
fact that you inform them that there was an
Right.
error, they are notified. And the
Correct.
continuation of reporting it now makes it a violation of S2A because now they're reporting information with actual knowledge of errors. And then it triggers S2B.
Okay.
Right? So
That's
look,
A and B.
look at the charge off deletion guide. You're gonna
Okay.
see a letter. You're gonna have to modify the letter that you're gonna send out, or we'll talk about that letter later on. We'll build that letter later on. We don't have the time now, so we'll build it. So that would be
Okay.
for Navy Federal, but also remember that you want to request. So did you send out the late payment letter to creditor?
Correct.
So now you also want to file your complaints. Make sure
Correct. That's right. That's it.
this is you stacking up the evidence
Yes.
now.
Yes.
So
Yes. That was
file the
definitely gonna be my next step.
complaint. File the complaint. We need to make the rebuttal letter, and after the rebuttal letter, then your round 3 now would be the lawsuit, right? With the small claims or whatever.
Okay.
Now on the consumer reporting agency side, you want to send the late payment to consumer reporting agency letter. That's
Correct.
the one you want to send to them.
Okay.
Because we want them to reply either one of 2 ways. Well, one of 3 ways, actually.
Mm.
One, you're either going to get a reply from them. 2, you're not going to get a reply from them. 3, they stall you. So those are the possible ways they're going to respond. And then depending on how they respond, it will prompt the round 2.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
So make
Okay,
sure
cool.
you're doing both. You must do both because of the end
Right.
goal that you have.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I have
Uh,
real quick. I have
I
a
I
my
can't take that one. I got it. We're at 8 o'clock,
please take it.
8:01
Okay.
to be
All right, go
exact.
ahead. We'll do it. Go ahead. Okay. Yep.
I'll just do Timothy and Mr. Consumer, us, and then Ivy. I won't be able to take your question right now, because Tim and Consumer us had theirs up for a minute. I'll take these two. To tomorrow, you and Ivy will be first up. So make sure that when we come on, you and Ivy raise your hands first. But I'm gonna take Tim and Consumer Auros, and then we'll go into tonight. So Tim, talk to me, Tim. What's going on? Timothy going once. Timothy going twice. All right, sold. Mr. Consumer Auros.
Hello, Duran and everybody.
All right, what's going on, King?
Good, good, good. Quick question. Picking off of last week, we had spoke about 1681I. So my issue is, in March, at the end of March, I sent out a letter for basically identity theft because no permissible purpose on the inquiry, and then to Equifax, and then I sent another letter to Equifax about late payments, right? So both of them, and they didn't respond. They changed something on my credit report, as in they changed the date of the late payment. Both of these are to Equifax. They really didn't respond. They just they verified it on the website because I called in today. So that I can make another letter, but put both of them together because both of them are doing it's an EB issue.
Hold on, I'm hearing
But
a
I
feedback
can
somewhere.
also request I can basically make a I-6 letter.
All right, so I can't give you a quick answer. I'm gonna go over because you're talking about late payment, and that's what we're actually gonna discuss right now. So more than likely, you'll get your answer tonight.
Okay.
Right?
Because they
So
didn't respond either.
Yeah, you're gonna get your answer tonight.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So what? Yeah, I got your answer. I think I know where you're going with this, and I'll give you your answer tonight. I saw for a minute that Timothy was here. Tim, are you here? Tim going once.
I'm here.
All right, Tim, talk to me real quick, Tim.
All right, it's gonna be quick. I got a UNLV letter.
Who?
LVNV.
LVNV, right?
Yeah. And what happens was they sent me a court date or something within 14 days. But could I just get a continuation to gather all the information, or what should I do?
All right. So what I'm gonna do is, Tim, your question actually gets answered tomorrow. That's
Okay,
tomorrow's collection.
You got it.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm tomorrow. I want you to raise your hand again.
You got it.
Right? And I want you to ask me, and I'll use yours to start the class.
You got it.
All right, Tim?
Ready. I got you.
All right, bet. So hit me up tomorrow.
Thank you.
And we're gonna. All right, my guy. Thank you.
All right.
All right. So for everyone that was on that had your mics off mute, please mute your mic. We're gonna go into tonight's lesson. So let's give a shout out to everybody that's joining us that's on the general admission side. General admission, welcome. I know you've been in the background listening. What's going on? Today is day 1. We are about to get into it right now. So I'm checking the itinerary. Boom. For tonight, we have a few things on schedule. So for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as I switch the cameras over, we're going to dive into late payment. So what I'm going to actually do is, Yannick, your question, I'm going to use your question to kick tonight off. So late payments, ladies and gentlemen, late payments. A lot of people got late payments, and there's no shame in having missed the payment. Life will life, and life keeps happening regardless. Now, it's not that we don't. Oh, let me check. Shante, how's my audio?
You're perfect. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so it's not that you don't have a late payment or you have a late payment. The question becomes, are they compliant in their reporting? Right? Remember, it's not that you didn't have a late payment. Are they compliant? Right? There's a few things that can happen. There's a few things that can happen. And whenever we talk about late payments, ladies and gentlemen, you want to visit 15 USC 1666B. Because 1666B has the information as to what can make a payment late. Nothing in here, I wouldn't say nothing. The information contained here is what makes a creditor treat a payment as late. A creditor can only treat a payment as late if they are compliant. So they must be compliant. They must be compliant with this section of the law. So what is this section of the law? Let's get into it. So it says a creditor may not treat a payment on a credit card account under an open-end consumer credit plan as late for any purpose unless. So for those of you that are saying, well, Daraine, it's my car and my car is on a credit card account. Are you sure? Are you sure it's not a credit card account? Are you sure? Well, you might be saying, well, damn, now that you're asking me, I don't know, and I don't know if I'm sure. So in order to comprehend this, we need to go take a visit over truth in lending. So 15 USC 1605. So when you go over 1602, not 1605, 1602. Definitions, right? So, oh, by the way, for those of you that love to use the word bureau, credit bureau, guys, there is only one bureau. The term bureau means the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection. It is not TransUnion. It is not Equifax. It is not Experian, okay? Like, they are not bureaus. The only bureau listed, word bureau, as you can see, is the Consumer Financial Protection, okay? So please, let's not use that word credit bureau anymore because there is no credit bureau. Credit bureaus does not exist, right? So let's go down to the word credit card, right? Well, let's read open-end credit plan too, because it did mention open-end credit plan, right? So right, open-end consumer credit plan. So it's important that you always, always seek definition. So open-end credit plan and open-end consumer credit plan mean a plan under which the creditor reasonably contemplates repeated transactions, which prescribes the terms of such transactions, and which provides for a finance charge which may be computed from the time on the outstanding unpaid balance, a credit plan or open-end consumer credit plan, which is an open-end credit plan or open-end consumer credit plan within the meaning of the preceding sentence, is an open-end credit plan or an open-end consumer credit plan, even if credit information is verified from time to time. So that big word of open-end credit plan, it just means that there's a line of credit that is open. You're making payments, there are repeated transactions, and it may involve a finance charge, which we talk about your car, a mortgage, credit card, personal loan. Some of these have finance charge involved, but having a finance charge isn't the only thing. It's an open line of credit where multiple transactions are happening. It could be an installment loan or a revolving line of credit, right? But the word that I want you guys to look at is this word, credit card. See, the term credit card means any card. Look at this word right here. Any card. Where do we go? Any card, there we go. Any card, plate, coupon book, or other what? Credit device existing for the purpose of obtaining money, property, labor, or services. When we start thinking about what this definition says, your ID is a credit card. Isn't your ID a card? And that card is used as a device for the extension of obtaining money. Don't they ask you for your ID and you're supposed to give them your ID number? Okay. What else do they ask for? Don't they ask for your social security number? And you're supposed to provide those numbers, because if you don't give this social security card, you're not going to extend a line of credit to you. Don't they also ask for your EIN? So these are credit device, your ID, your social security number, your EIN. These are devices that are used. And let me see in the chat, because I need to make sure that you guys are following. These are devices, ladies and gentlemen. These are devices. Think about it. When have you ever applied for a line of credit and they did not ask you for your ID or your ID number, your social security card or your social security number, or your EIN document or your EIN number? Right? So when we're talking about a credit card, this is, you guys are thinking that a credit card is your Wells Fargo credit card. You're thinking that it's your Capital One Venture card. You're thinking that it's your Navy Federal credit card. You're thinking that it's your American Express Gold Platinum. Those aren't really credit card. What those are accepted credit cards. So let's go back to definitions again. Card holder, card issuer. Where is it? There's a word. It's called accepted credit cards. Where is it? Credit card means that. No, adequate notice. Credit card issuer. There's a word. I can't find it right now. But it's called accepted credit card. And your Wells Fargo, your Chase, your Bank of America, those fall under accepted credit cards because it is an accepted version of a credit card that is used. And I just can't see it right now, and I don't have the time to go and find it. All right. So let's go back over to late payment, right? So now that we know what an open-end consumer credit plan is, right? Because it can be what? An installment, or it can be a revolving account. A creditor cannot treat this payment as late for any reason, because we know the correct definition of what a credit card is. And we know that our ID and social security number are also forms of credit card. We know this. So anything that has to do with your ID or your social security number is a credit card account, and it is under an open-end consumer credit plan, which might be a credit card. It might be an auto loan. It might be a mortgage, right? This is what it's talking about. So they can't treat any payment a student loan. They can't treat any of this payment late unless they have adopted reasonable procedures designed to ensure that each periodic statement, including, so the first thing you need to write down is periodic statement. That's the first thing that caught my attention. Periodic statement. So the periodic statement, including information required by section 1637B, and this must be mailed or delivered. This must be mailed or delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date. Right? So the only way a creditor can treat a payment as late, it must be what? It must be compliant. It must be compliant with section 1666B. It must be compliant. It must be compliant. There is no other way. It must be compliant. If it's not compliant to this section, the payment cannot be treated as late. Is everyone following? Let me see in the chat. Is everybody following? Without being compliant with 1666B, a payment cannot be treated as late. So when I say a late payment exists only because you let it, it's because you didn't challenge it. We've been misled by people on the internet talking about we should go and send in goodwill letters. Goodwill letters for what? Don't be sending in no goodwill letters. They must be compliant. They must be compliant, right? So learning this information now is what you would put in your dispute letter. So when you're sending out a round one, and the reason why a lot of you don't get results is because you do not know how to properly dispute. And this is what you're going to learn inside the university. So for those of you moms that are here, shout out to y'all, happy Mother's Day belated. And for those of you that are not moms, but you're still here, the dispute process is key. The dispute process is key in one, getting items removed or deleted from your consumer report, but two, if you want to get paid. How many people on here want to get paid? Let me see. For those of you that are here for more than just a deletion, let me see the people here who wants to learn how to get paid. I need to see y'all drop that money bag. For those of you that want to learn this stuff and get paid, I need to see y'all drop that money bag. Let me see that money bag. I only see a few people dropping the money back. So some people don't want to get paid. No, it's cool. Listen, if y'all don't want this money, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to say you have to get paid. I'm not going to say it. But for those of you that want to get paid, drop those money bags in the chat. That's all I'm saying. If you want to get paid, drop the money back. So a late payment can take two forms, right? And the two forms of late payments, you can go, well, two dispute ways. The dispute can take two routes. So the first route the dispute can go is direct to creditor. The second way it can go is direct to consumer reporting agency. I recommend both. It's not a matter of you picking one or the other. You should dispute both, and you should also, while doing this, file your complaints. And you're going to file them with the CFPB. You're going to file them with the BBB. You're going to file them with your state attorney general. You're going to file it with the FTC. All right, so CFPB, BBB, State Attorney General, and FTC. Make sure you file your complaints. So this is what your flow looks like. Your flow should look like this. There's a dispute letter that's going out to the creditor. So a letter should be going out to the creditor. And a letter should be going out to the CRAs. Where people have the most issue falls here. This is where the most issue falls. This is where ISSUE. The most issue is here. Can someone tell me why the dispute letter has the most issues? Why do you think the dispute, drop it in the chat for me. Why do you think the dispute letter have the most, is the most challenging for a lot of people? Let me see what you guys say. No plan. Okay, there's no plan for their dispute. They're just getting a template offline and they don't know what they're doing. Because it has to be specific. Okay, we're getting there. They don't know the law. We're going there. Wording. So your answers are correct. The wording, yes. What the gurus online are not telling you guys is they don't know how to dispute. So what the gurus are not telling you guys online is they don't know how to dispute. And because they're only using templates or softwares, they don't know how to break down the dispute process for you. There's two languages you need to understand when it comes to disputing, right? There's two languages, and I teach this in the university. Two languages. The language to the CRA and the language to the creditor. You know what? Let me not use creditor. Let me put furnisher, because that would encompass every one of them. The language to the furnisher. Is the language to the creditor the same language to the CRA? That's a question. Is it the same dispute letter you're going to send to the CRA that you send to the furnisher? Let me see how many people. Oh, okay, okay, y'all been paying attention. Okay. Y'all are paying attention. Okay, good. The language for the CRA is specific. The language for the furniture is specific. Totally spelled that one wrong. Right? The language is specific. It's specific because you need to know what entity you're addressing. So it goes back to when you call this credit bureau, right? B-E-A-R. This word gets me every time, guys. Do not watch the spelling for it. Bureau gets me every single time. This word is just complicated to spell. I don't know why. It gets me every time. It's probably not even spelled correctly now, but y'all just know that it's bureau, okay? Don't judge me. I got a high school diploma here. Do not judge me. So most of you address an entity as a credit bureau, and they're not a credit bureau. And sometimes you get no reply, right? Sometimes you get stall letters. So you get no reply, stall letters, and you get this word. This word that they love to use so much, this word. Can anybody tell me what this word is? They love using this word. What is this word that they love to use? There's a word that they love to use. Oh my God, somebody said it. Validated, validated. Either validated, verified, or accurate. It's one out of these. It's either one of these words you're going to use. They all mean the same thing. They're either going to respond to you validated, verified, or accurate. What do you do when they replied validated, verified, or accurate? What do you do, ladies and gentlemen? You sent out a round one dispute. You send out a round one dispute, and they responded to you verified. They responded to you with a stall letter. They responded to you with no replies. What do you do next? What do you do? Somebody talk to me. Ask for the step to validate. Okay. Now, students in my university, students that have been trained by Doreen De Levante, students that knows this stuff, I want you to put your Twitter fingers down, because I want us to evaluate where everyone else is. So if you are a student in the university, and I know Joe is on fire right now, I know Wynn's on fire, I know Tinkerbell's on fire, I know y'all are like, bro, just let me at it, Doreen, but no. I gotta ask y'all to just hold off a little bit, just a little bit. Just give me a little bit of time, because we want to find out where all our new students are, right? So let's find out. So everybody in the university, I'm just going to ask you to I know you're tempted because your mind is like, Doreen, I know this one. I know you're tempted, but I want to see where our new family members are. So after your round one, when you send out so remember now, we're talking about late payments here, right? We're still on late payments. We're still on late payments, and we send out the round one dispute. We send out the round one dispute to the consumer reporting agencies, right? We sent out this letter. That letter got sent out, right? It's going that way. And we sent out the one to the furnisher, right? So these letters are out. So we're in round one right now. This is round one. And round one you're either going to get no reply, a star letter, validated, verified, or accurate. What do you do next? All right, somebody new, somebody that is not in. Let me see how many people are not in the university. First of all, if you're not in the university, drop the word me in the chat. Just let me see who's not in the university yet. Okay. All right, I'm seeing a few people. All right, so if you're in the university, you cannot answer right now. All right, I know, but not yet. You cannot answer yet, not yet. For everyone that is new, that is not in the university, if they reply to you with a no reply, a star letter, a validated response, a verified or accurate response, what do you do next? And the reason why I'm explaining this to you is this is where I find that the information is being lost. And these gurus online that are telling you to go and use a software and you have no comprehension of what's going on. So let me make this clear. If you are here and you don't want to learn, one, how to delete items from your credit, or two, how to get paid, this isn't a class for you. It's not. We're not here to tell you to push a button and watch the items get deleted. We're here to educate you so you can go and be a successful business owner if you decide to go open a credit repair business, which you should, because there's 333 million people in America that have bad credit. All right, something on their credit ain't right. And 200 million got an active credit profile. So there's a lot of people for you to help and make a lot of money. All right, so someone says reform your letter and resend. Okay, that is a good response. That's a great response, right? So how do you reform the letter? What are you putting in the letter? So this is the part that's keeping you guys stuck. When a consumer reporting agency does not respond to you, can someone in the university tell me, when you don't get a reply from a consumer reporting agency, what dispute letter do you send out? When you don't get a reply, it triggers a specific dispute letter. What dispute letter do you send out if they do not reply to you? All right. A1A, correct. So you want to send out an A1A/I5 round 2 letter. Right? This is how you respond. This is how you respond to a no reply. A no reply is met with a A1A/I5 rebuttal letter. If you get a star letter, a star letter also gets an A1A/I5 with a slight modification. Right? With a slight modification. Now, when they respond, validated, verified, or accurate, what dispute letter does a verified, validated, or accurate response trigger? I6B3, correct. Woo, y'all are on fire. So I6B3. And for those of you that are new, you're saying, Doreen, what is an A1A? What is an I5? What do you mean by slight modification? What is an I6B3? These are all great questions that you're asking. And the reason why you don't know what these responses are is because you're not in the university. So these responses trigger. So when a consumer reporting agency responds to you a certain way, it triggers different sections of the law. The reason why y'all dispute letters ain't disputing is because you do not know when you get a stall letter, what specific letter you're supposed to send out. When you get a no response, what should you do on the 31st day? A lot of you don't know that if an item cannot be, well, you've heard of it because you heard these gurus online talking about if the credit bureaus don't respond to you in 30 days, they must delete it. That is true, but there's no credit bureau. That's why you're not going to get the response. If we're talking about a consumer reporting agency, yes, now you might have something. So if a consumer reporting agency does not respond within 30 days, what law compels them to delete the item that cannot be verified? So what law compels a consumer reporting agency to delete an item that was disputed when it cannot be verified or validated, or they cannot, you know what, let me do it this way. Let's go over here. I'm still waiting on that answer. I'm gonna check if y'all have that answer in a minute. 1680. So for those of you that are curious, let's enlighten y'all darkness a little bit. So let me see what you guys have. All right. So A1A. Those of you that were asking what A1A is, that's A1A. Right? And A1A talks about deletion of an item at the end of the 30-day period. Right? And it talks about when you dispute the item and the information is inaccurate, and it talks about disputing the information and the fact that it must be compliant with paragraph 5. So for those of you that didn't comprehend what we were talking about, basically, when you do not get a response from a consumer reporting agency, it triggers what we call our A1A round 2 dispute, right? And then A1A gets paired with I5 because A1A goes with I5. And A1A and I5 says if after any reinvestigation under paragraph 1, any information disputed by a consumer, an item of the information is found to be inaccurate, right? Inaccurate or incomplete or cannot be verified, the consumer reporting agency shall promptly delete it. Right? So A1A tells us what must happen. Right? So, I mean, I5 tells us what? What must happen? This is what I5 is telling us. I5 is telling us what must happen. If the item cannot be verified, if the item is inaccurate, if the item is incomplete, what must happen? This is what it's telling us. What must happen? Okay, so we know that they must promptly delete it. So this is what? This is an action. So this action of deleting information that is inaccurate or incomplete or cannot be verified, this is an action that must be taken. However, what A1A gives us, what does A1A gives us, ladies and gentlemen? You know, let me go over here. Right? So A1A and I5. I5 gives us an action. And that action is what must happen. For A1A, can somebody tell me what A1A gives? I5 give the action of what must happen, right? What does A1A give? So let me go over here and show you guys again so you guys can see. A1A gives what? What does A1A give? A1A gives what? Remember, A1A supports I5. What does A1A give us? You know what? The person that gets this, oh my God. I just knew somebody in university was going to get it. A1A gives us a time frame. The time frame is 30 days. So putting A1A and I5 together, we have a time frame of 30 days. The action is a deletion. So let's put A1A and I5 together. Who would like to put A1A and I5 together? Who would like to put A1A and I5 together? All right, Yannick, Haiti, can you off mute Yannick for me? I want to hear his strategy. How do we put A1A and I5 together? So A1A gives us the time frame of 30 days. I5 gives us an action with a deletion when the information cannot be verified. Right? Cannot. It cannot be verified, validated. It is incomplete or inaccurate. Knowing this, what does A1A and I5 accomplish? Yannick, are you there?
Yes. So the question, what is the question you want me to ask?
Knowing that A1A gives a time frame of 30 days,
right,
and I5 gives an action of deletion based on the fact that they cannot verify or validate the incomplete or inaccurate information.
right.
How do you put this together? How do you put this together?
Um,
In response to a stall tactic, what would make this work?
Okay, basically, I sent in a letter 30 days ago, a violation 1681 I A1A gives you 30 days to response. I haven't received a response. This is the 31st day. By law, by pursuant to 1681 I5, the only action that needs to be done is a deletion.
Correct. You are 100% correct. The way it works, ladies and gentlemen, when you get a stall letter, and like, guys, for those of you not in our university, we comprehend that people out there in the credit world, they don't teach the way we teach over here, right? They don't teach the way we teach. When you get a stall letter, when you get a stall letter or a no response, when they stall you or there is no response, it triggers the same laws. A stall letter triggers the same law as a no response. And as Unique just explained, A1A gives us a 30-day time limit. And if within 30 days, they cannot verify, they can validate, they can complete or state that the information is accurate, a termination of the account or of the disputed item must happen. If the item cannot be validated, verified as accurate or complete within a 30-day time frame, ladies and gentlemen, by law of 15 USC 1681 I-5, the only action is a deletion of the account. This works for any account that you are disputing as long as you dispute the item correctly. Is everyone following? Like, I know this might be some of y'all first time hearing it, but I want to know, like, guys, is it making sense? Like, I need you to be able to put the pieces together. Is it making sense, ladies and gentlemen? Come on, do I got a witness? Is it? Let me see their money bags. Is it making sense? All right. So this is how we get rid of a late payment. Now, let's go over. Let's go over to boom. All right, we captured late payments already. Let's go over. Oh, this is still. Let's go over to the consumer reporting agencies. Now, there are secondary consumer reporting agencies that a lot of you don't know about. And these secondary consumer reporting agencies report to the big three. And they report all your information. What you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is you need to learn who these small players are. So there's LexisNexis, Innovis, CoreLogix, SageStream, ARS. There's a whole bunch of them. To be exact, there's hundreds of them. And some of you might be saying, well, Dwayne, how do you know that there are hundreds of consumer reporting agencies? It's easy. It's easy to know because when you go okay, so when you go, ladies and gentlemen, is when you log in, right? And you go to list of CRAs. And for those of you that are wondering, this is our, oh, where did it go? This is our software and this is our demo account. So this is actually our demo account. Where did the thing go? And I'll be giving y'all more insight. So this is a demo account demonstrating a consumer report that we've been using for the last 8 months to build out the software. And it has a pre-programmed list of negative accounts and just basically how we're able to use the software. I'll go into the software with you guys on Thursday for those of you that are coming into university. But what I want to actually show you guys is the list of CRAs. For those of you who don't know, there are groups of CRAs, and we have the big three on page 9. If we're talking about employment screening, tenant, like I'm just gonna show y'all because it's gonna be quick. Like, guys, there are hundreds of consumer reporting agencies. And when some of you get denied for apartments, when some of you get denied for housing, when some of you get denied for a bank account, is because your information is on these systems. So the nationwide consumer reporting companies, as you know, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, right? So right here, it gives you the names of how we can contact them and addresses and stuff like that. If you're going for a job and you didn't get the job, it's probably because there's information on these background or employment screening consumer reporting agencies that you don't know about. So when you guys go into the software, you guys can play around with this and you can really see that, guys, there's information out here that you didn't even know existed on you. You went for life insurance, guess what? You got denied and you don't know why. Chances are you're in one of these systems. So I just wanted to show you guys that there are multiple consumer reporting agencies apart from LexisNexis, Innovis, CoreLogix, ARS, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So when you're disputing, you want to make sure that you dispute the negative information, right? And disputing the negative information, you also want to lock or freeze. You want to freeze or lock your secondary consumer reports. The reason why you lock them is so that Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion cannot use information here. They cannot use information here to state that an account is verified. The reason why y'all verified accounts come back so quick is because they did not go to the creditors. Where they actually went is to the other consumer reporting agencies to find out if the information that they have matches what they got. If the information TransUnion, let's say TransUnion, if TransUnion sends out a request for information to ARS, and ARS comes back and say, hey, TransUnion, we got the same information, you're going to get a verified response. If Experian reaches down and say, hey, what information you got? And they responded, hey, we got the same thing you got. Verified. If Equifax reaches down and say, hey, Lorraine is disputing this item, show me the information that you got. And they responded, oh, but we got the same thing. I'm going to get a verified response. That's the response that I'm going to get. It's called verified. By locking these consumer reporting agency, you now force Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion to take their disputes directly to the furnisher. Right? So now, because they cannot go to LexisNexis, Innovis, CoreLogix, or ARS, they have to go to the furnisher. And what does that do? Well, it gives you guys an opportunity to see and request your I6B3. Right? Your I6B3 gets triggered when you get a accurate, verified, or validated response. Now, it doesn't matter what type of account. It doesn't matter the type of account that you are whether it's a late payment, so whether it's a late payment, whether it's a charge off, whether it's a collection, etc., your CRAs or your furnisher have different ways that you communicate to them. Same thing. Your dispute letter is the single most important item in your arsenal. And if you don't know how to properly dispute, it's going to make getting rid of these accounts extremely difficult. So whenever you think that you're against the wall and you don't know what to do, the first thing you need to do is freeze your secondary consumer reporting agencies. So a part of your homework tonight, you will be getting this document. You're going to get this document that gives you the step-by-step play on how to freeze all the secondary consumer reporting agencies. So you guys are going to get this as a part of your homework package. The next thing that you guys don't know is, okay, so back. When we talk about permissible purpose, ladies and gentlemen, permissible purpose isn't just stating that, oh, you didn't have permission to view my information. Permissible purpose takes on a few different things because in order for you to accurately all right. Credit repair. First thing you need to do is clean up. Personal information. The first thing you need to do is clean up personal information. Why? Because when you clean up old names, addresses, telephone numbers, emails, oftentimes negative accounts can go with it. That's number one. The second thing you need to do after you do that is, you're gonna get this, the 24-hour express inquiry and personal information guide. You guys are gonna be getting this, right? It's a part of your homework. So you're gonna use personal information to clear up, one, your personal information, and two, inquiries. An inquiry falls under two categories: hard, soft. This one dings your credit. This one does not. So to clean up inquiries, you're going to use the 24-hour express inquiry and personal information guide to clean number one and number two up. After you've cleaned number one and number two up, you're going to go into late payments. You're going to get the late payment deletion guide. The late payment deletion guide has the laws built in that you are going to use to get items deleted, right? So when we talk about personal information, ladies and gentlemen, it's very simple. You're going to get the script in the excuse me. You're going to get this script that you will be using, and this is going to get a lot of accounts deleted from your credit, right? You are going to get this, and it's good. It's step by step. Before you call the consumer reporting agencies, make sure you read this first. You don't want to call them and not be familiar with the script. So make sure that you read the script in its entirety, because it is important for you to follow the guidelines. So everything is in the script that you're going to need to delete what? Personal information and inquiries. It is built to delete these two. Now, when it comes to late payments now has a different script. The late payment script that you guys will be using late payment script. All right, I wanted to show you guys the script, but it might be in a different folder. Where is it? Bonus materials. Here we go. I got so much goodies in here for you guys. It's crazy the amount of goodies that I have for you guys. Let me see. Here's the script. I don't see the script right now, but you will be getting the script after we get off of this call. So I'm going to make sure that you get the script. I wanted to show you guys the script, but for some reason I'm not seeing it. You will be getting a few things from me tonight because you have homework that needs to get done by tomorrow. Front removal, charge offs, not that. No parking, permissible purpose, no, just not here. Bonus materials, just checked. Ah, here we go. I knew it was here somewhere. All right. So this is the late payment script, ladies and gentlemen. And you will be reading this and running this play tomorrow. So make sure that you guys get familiar with the dispute letters and the scripts, because you will be calling in tomorrow, and I need you not to be scared. I need you to be confident because everything that is discussed on day one, the personal information, permissible purpose, the late payment, and the inquiry, freezing the secondary consumer reporting agency. I want you to start with this first. Let's put it on the list. Number 4 is freezing secondaries. CRAs, right? So you're going to freeze the secondaries, including TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So you're freezing the secondaries, also TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. The reason why you freeze your consumer reports is because you don't want an unauthorized furnisher or creditor pulling your reports without your permission. So when you freeze your consumer reports using the script and the guide that you guys are getting, this allows you to have control. Can somebody drop the word control in the chat? How do you know which secondaries are on your report? You won't know what secondaries are on your report until you dispute certain items. When you dispute the negative items, this is where you find out what is going on. So in order for you to know what accounts secondary consumer reporting agencies are reporting, you have to dispute it, right? And that is why I say when you use the software, you can use the software to go in and freeze all of them, right? You make some phone calls, it has all the information there. But I'm giving you a script, and the script is what you're going to use tomorrow. You're going to freeze secondary consumer reporting agencies, and you are going to freeze TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Right, so once you freeze ARS, SageStream, CoreLogic, LexisNexis, Innovis, which is the major secondaries, once you freeze them, you go on and freeze in your TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Now, if you have a fraud alert, or if they tell you about a fraud alert, you do not want a fraud alert on your credit. If they say there's a fraud alert on your credit, tell them that you want the fraud alert deleted. What you need is to freeze your consumer report. Is everybody following? You're freezing. It's not fraud alert. There's a difference between fraud alert. Fraud alert tells lenders, hey, this person is high risk for identity theft. You might not want to lend to them. You don't want that. You want a freeze, because once you freeze the consumer report, only you can unfreeze it. No one else can access those reports without your permission. You want control over who sees your information and what information they're seeing. This is how you gain back that first line of control. And then you want to use the 24 Express Inquiry Deletion Guide to delete your inquiries and personal information, right? After that, before I go, I got to tell you all this. All right, we've covered most of the lecture for tonight. So let me go back here, and I'm going to tell y'all something. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you're disputing, right? Or better yet, when you're using the script, when you're using the script, if an agent says to you, is there anything else? I'm gonna look straight at you. I'm looking in your eyes now. When you're running the 24-hour express inquiry deletion guide play and personal information. If the agency if the agent ever says, is there something else I can do for you? Wink, wink, give them every single negative account on your credit. This is a keyword for, hey, if there's items you want deleted on your credit, tell me now. They can't come out and say, oh, is there a bankruptcy you want me to delete? No, you have to tell them. The code word is, sir or ma'am, is there anything else I can do for you? This is where you start listing all your negatives account. So make sure you are paying attention. Make sure you remember my voice. And tomorrow, when you're on the phone and they say, Mr. Delavante, is there anything else I can do for you? You are going to say, yes. As a matter of fact, there is. You see, I had this inquiry that they had no permissible purpose. On top of that, I don't even know who gave them permission to pull my credit, because I was under the impression that my reports were frozen and only I had the power to unfreeze them. So I want to know, how did XYZ company pulled my report without a permissible purpose? Who saw or reviewed the permissible purpose document? So this is where you go in character. Like, I love this part. Like, bro, I be going into character. So remember now, the homework items, you're going to clean up personal information. You are going to, so make sure you guys take a screenshot. So you're cleaning up personal information, right? You are deleting inquiries tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, inquiries that are not tied to open accounts. If an inquiry is tied to an open account, leave it alone. If you delete an inquiry that is tied to an open account, you run the risk of closing the account. All right, I'm going to say this again. If you delete an inquiry tied to an open account, you run the risk. It doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it does. So just know, if you are going to delete an inquiry tied to an open account, you run the risk of closing that account. Inquiries that are not tied to any open account, these are what you want to get deleted. These are what you want to get cleaned up. Late payments. I need you to learn the script. Read the script, please. Don't just call and don't know what you're saying. For those of you that are going to record the call, write this down. For those of you that are going to record the phone call, you need to find out, am I in a one-party or a two-party state? It's very important, because when you decide to sue them, let's say you want to go get paid the $1,000 for an inquiry, you can get it, but then you use a recording in a two-party state, but you never announced on the two-party state that a call is being recorded. That can get thrown out. So you need to know, what state are you in? Are you in a one-party state, or are you in a two-party state? So if you're in a two-party state, make sure that when you're recording the call, you let them know that the call is being recorded. If you're in a one-party state, you don't have to tell them nothing. Just record the conversation and do y'all thing. Freezing the secondaries. Coy, you are correct. You want to freeze the secondaries first. All right. So use the freezing guide, the credit freezing manual that you're gonna get. Use that and freeze. It has all the instructions in there. Janelle, how do you find out what party state you're in? Oh, just Google it. Just go to Google and say, let's say I'm in Georgia, right? So I would go to Google. So I'm gonna go to Google right now. Hold on, let me share screen. Okay. So what I would do, I would go to Google, right? I'll go to Google and I would say, is Georgia a one or two party state? So Georgia wiretapping law is a one-party consent law for purposes of making audio recording of conversations. So Georgia makes it a crime to secretly record a phone call or in-person conversation originating in any private place unless one party to the conversation consents. All right? So basically is if you're making a if you're in a one party state like Georgia, it's a conversation over the phone, you don't have to say anything. It's one party. All right? So one party state. You can Google what does a one party state means and what does a two party state means. So it will give you the definition, like it will just give you the definition. One party state. One party state is the country where single not like that. Phone. Ah, golly. Here you go. Recording conversations in all 50 states. So one party state, like it will give you the information, guys. You just gotta look it up. So just look it up. And B, I'm gonna drop this in the chat. This is good information for you to know. So there you go. Find out if you're in a one-party state or a two-party state. And great, New York is one-party state. Thanks. Perfect. So that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. So know what type of state you're in so that when you're doing your recordings, when you're recording the stuff, you want to be able to use it. So that's it for tonight. We went over a little bit, 19 minutes, but you know, I'll keep it closer next time to our cutoff time. But the dispute, just in closing, the dispute is the reason why people ain't getting the deletions. The dispute is the reason why people aren't getting paid. And this is what we teach in the university. So for those of you that are not in our university, you need to consider it, because at some point this week, you will get an opportunity to be a part of our university. Guys, we are getting paid for having bad credit. Our first student that got paid was Thomas. And Thomas, I ain't gonna throw his number out there, but just know that Thomas's check is, and I quote, anywhere between 25 and 50,000. So pick a number between 25 and 50,000 because he signed a non-disclosure. Pick a number between 25,000 and 50,000, and whatever number you come up with, Thomas either got that or somewhere close to that number. So he's the first one that's getting paid. I have no doubt that Yannick will be second because he's further in the process than a lot of people. And I'm telling you guys, yes, you can get paid for having bad credit. This year is the year of checks. we will not accept anything less than checks this year. We want our deletions, but we're also going to get paid for all the violations. We're getting paid for everything because now we've refined the process and we're going to work. So for those of you that are not in the university, you might want to think about joining because you will be a part of the most amazing consumer law education and community as we educate, take our power back, but most importantly, get the remedy that you are seeking. I will start the process probably this week, and I'll keep you guys posted. I'm going back after my down payment on my Benz. I'm gonna go to New York, and I'm gonna go wild. Just know the university, just know this. I'm not going to go into details. Just know that joining this program will be one of the best 2024 decisions you'll ever make. I'm going to leave it at that. We're getting checks. We're going back for down payments. We're going back for it all, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's happening in 2024. 2024 is the year of remedy. So like I said before, for those of you that are serious about getting remedies, this might be the time you want to come learn this stuff. All right? So everybody have an amazing night. It's all about checks. We're getting checks this year. We're getting down payments back. We're getting items deleted. We're getting paid for bad credit. This is the year of remedy, and we will get what we are owed. So everyone have an amazing night. Do not let the opportunity pass you sometime this week when we say, hey, might want to join before we close the doors. This is what we're talking about. You want to get in. So ladies and gentlemen, have an amazing night from your favorite island boy. My voice is 99% back. Holler at your boy. I'm going to see y'all later.
Good night.
Night, everyone.
Good night, Jordan.
Thank you. Good night.